Hey y'all, so this video I'm going to make today is going to be a little bit about my experience so far as a doula, becoming a doula, and what it's been like so far. So in May I took the birth workshop. In order to certify you have to have like so many hours at a birth workshop, and I did that, and that was fun, and I met lots of cool people, and that was awesome. So 2 weeks later, my first client was due, and that was a really awesome birth. She ended up delivering at about 41 weeks, so that was really cool. Just her whole experience was cool. I mean, and sorry for the lack of details, but I can't really share specifics because it's just, I don't have permission to share specifics, so I can't go too in detail, but, and that's been 2 months ago. The next birth, was a home birth, and that was awesome. It was her third baby, and we had like, probably 24 hours of, oh my goodness, sorry guys, of prodromal labor. And so eventually her labor stopped, and then we went back a week later and she delivered in about 7 or 8-ish hours. And my third birth was today, and that was awesome. She had 2 days of contractions that were in a pattern, but they were just staying in that pattern. They weren't getting closer together or anything until last night, and then she had her baby this morning. So so let me just talk about like life being on call and having 3 kids and how that all works out. So thankfully, my husband's a great support, like with being like my backup, if you will. And if he's home, it's no big deal. The only problem is if he's at work, I can't call and say, hey, can you come home? I have a birth. Or if it's on a weeknight where he has to get up and work the next day, he gets up super early in the morning, like super early, like 3 a.m., 3:30. I think it's 3:30. I think he leaves at 4. I don't know, it's too early in the morning for me to actually keep track of. But, however, it's really early in the morning. And so if I'm gone at a birth, he can't just leave the kids at home by themselves because he has to go to work. So what we do is my mom lives on the next street, and she will come over and stay with our kids, and then when she gets up for work, she gets them up and gets them dressed and takes them to my mother-in-law's, who then watches them during the day. If it's a weekend, of course, it's no big deal. My husband just keeps them and takes care of them, and I go do my thing. If we are planning anything and I'm on call, so for example, yesterday we went to Burgers Lake, and if I'm out with the family and it's at an activity like that, I will drive a separate car because I don't want to have to make everybody leave early just because I have to leave to go to a birth. So it stinks to have to drive like a separate car for big activities, but I'd rather do that than have to have everybody come home, and just be stuck without a car, and then it takes that much longer to get to my client. So that's kind of something that we have to do. Another thing is I have to keep my phone on ringer all through the night. And that's hard because I have to remember to turn it on, not ringer, before I go to bed, because 99% of the time it's on vibrate, even during the day. Just because if you're having like a texting conversation or Facebook notifications and that constant like dinging and going off, it's really, it's annoying to me. So I like to I have an iPhone, so I have the LED notifications on the back, so my light will flicker, and that's like notification enough. I don't want it to be constantly going off during the day, so But when I'm on call, I have to have it on ringer through the night. So what I do is during the day, I usually keep up with it pretty well during the day. I mean, it's pretty much near me. But at night, I have to be able to hear it. And I was really nervous, going into this, because I'm really a heavy sleeper. And I'm a heavy sleeper because I stay up so late at night. I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock. I'm doing this vlog. But I stay up so late at night that when I finally do go to sleep, my first sleep phase, I sleep really hard. And so I'm terrified that I'm going to miss the phone call. Well, I actually did miss the phone call last night. Thankfully, I got it within 2 hours, and she was a first-time mom, so I had time. But, oh my gosh. I mean, going into this, my two biggest fears were an all-day, super long birth and missing a phone call in the middle of the night. And thankfully, those two things have already happened. So now I feel like those are out of the way. We handled them. They were fine. It wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was going to be. Now, granted, the missed phone call could have really put me in a world of hurt, but we had a garage sale Thursday and Friday, and so if you've ever had a garage sale, you know how much prep and work, and you stay up late, and then you get up early in the morning, set up before it even opens at the crack of dawn. Anyways, we did that 2 days in a row. Then we spent the third day, Saturday, all day at the lake, and so Saturday night, I was putting Violet to sleep, and I fell asleep before she did, and I don't even know, what happened after that. And that was at about 10 o'clock. Well, at 1:30, my eyes popped open, and I was like, oh my God, my phone. And it was still on silent, and so I had missed a text saying, things are getting hard, where are you? And I had missed a voicemail and missed call, actually, and so I immediately called, and thankfully it was only 3 hours later. So anyway, luckily it was fine, and it was still just in the early stages right before she hit active, because they were still about 7 to 8 minutes apart, but she wanted me there. So regardless of how far apart the contractions were, when your client says she wants you there, you should be there. So she was really sweet and understanding. She said, I knew you probably fell asleep, so we were just waiting before we called you again. So anyway, luckily I made it within well enough time, and it all went off without a hitch. So basically, my two biggest fears in being a doula have all happened, and they're fine. So we made out, and I'm more confident now of kind of how to do it, and I keep my doula bag in the car when I'm on call, and so yeah, so that's really been my experience so far. I really love it. I really do. I mean, when you think about you have to be on call, and you may have to leave a place or a thing, an activity in the middle of the night, what have you, it kind of seems overwhelming and intimidating. But honestly, birth is inconvenient, but not really. If you really think about it, it really happens right when it's supposed to, and it really ends up just working out perfectly, and everything has just been awesome so far. Granted, you have only done 3 births, and it's not like I'm a professional, but it's been really cool. It's been everything I thought it would be. So I'm really happy with it, and I'm really glad that I have the support system I do with my mom and mother-in-law, and even my younger sister who's 15. She's a really great help too, and my husband. So everything has worked out, and without them, of course, I would not be able to do this. So really, I am thankful. And yeah, so any other questions about that, feel free to ask. We'll talk to you later. Bye.